Hey guys, today I want to do a quick overview of Adobe Lightroom and show you how to correct white balance. This is a tutorial for people who are beginning into photography, or they're not really wanting to get into photography but would just like to how to take better pictures of their pets and family and the things around them without spending too much time and effort in photo editing software. This tutorial will be specifically for Lightroom, but really the principles apply to anything. In any photo editing program, even your phone is going to have the same sliders, and you can use the same methods to correct the light color in your photos. So one of the problems with white balance, especially when you're new, is you don't realize that your brain is actually ignoring a lot of the color casts on things around you. And so an example would be fluorescent lights or CFLs, where you go into a room with CFLs and it looks normal to you, and then you take a picture and the picture is green. And the reason is that CFL light is green, but your brain knows it's not supposed to be, so your brain just ignores it and it doesn't tell you. So this is just a quick video on how to fix that in your photos. This photo here is just a photo of a puppy. I purposely changed the white balance setting to fluorescent to show you how a photo could look if the white balance settings are incorrect. Using the workflow that I showed you in the last video I posted for my Adobe tutorial, I adjusted the photo using doing everything except for the color section. So if you come over here to your edit tab, you've got this color section right here, and primarily we are going to be using the temperature and the tint sliders. There's a few different ways of doing this, but we'll just cover them real quickly. The first one is to just look at your photo and grab the slider, and I can tell this photo's got too much blue in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to adjust this manually, and the easiest way to do this is to just go too far. So there's your big yellow photo now. That's clearly too far, and if we come back past, oh, that's too far as well, and then just kind of come back, and this will help your brain reset a little bit and forget what it was supposed to see and just see as it changes. So we adjusted that some, and now we're going to do the same thing with the tint. We're going to come down and make it way too green, way too magenta, and then just settle in, and you can just go back and forth and optimize it, and there you go. It's a pretty nice looking white balance setting. So we went from this to that. So if I go back to my fluorescent photo, here's it corrected white balance. It makes a really big difference. The second way to do this is you've got a photo like this, and I went ahead and did the same thing with the workflow. I corrected everything except for the white balance. And in this photo, what we can do, since we have this nice white paper here on the target and we also have a nice black ring right there, we can grab our dropper over here on the right and see it says white balance selector. So I'm going to activate that by clicking on it, and I'm going to come over and I'm going to find a spot that I think that should be a neutral color, and it automatically adjusts these to what it would need to be in order to make the pixel that you clicked on the neutral color. You could also try the black in the photo, and that should give you a slightly cooler result. There's a third way you can do this. It is actually easier than this, and it will always work, because in this photo I can't really do that very well because I don't have some white or black that I know doesn't have a color cast to it. If I do the dropper on his fur, it's going to get really close to what I want, but a lot of times you'll get a color cast because it's not really white fur, it's white fur with a yellowish cast to it, or it's black fur with a bluish cast to it, and it will correct that out if you don't do this correctly. So the third way to do this, you got the sliders. You also have grabbing something that should be a neutral color. White, black, or gray usually works well. You can buy some of these, which are white balance cards. And this set I've had for years. I bought a couple of them mainly because I've lost them, but they are just incredible, because all you do is you take them out, put them in the lighting that you are going to take a photo in, snap a photo of them, and then when you get your photos on your computer, you can just click in your gray and it will automatically fix your white balance. Or you can go white to get warmer, black to get cooler. and you just got that option, and then you can paste those settings to all the rest of your photos in that same lighting. So if you're at a birthday party, you can just take these out, put them on a table or somewhere in the middle of the room, take a photo of them so that you've got a photo in that lighting of a neutral color. Then just take your photos. When you get out, you can copy and paste all your white balance settings from this photo to all your other photos. And to do that, all you need to do is either hit Control C, or you can hit Control Shift C, and it will bring this up. This will let you pick which settings you want to copy, and so you may not want to copy the crop or the heel or some other settings, but we can just uncheck these and leave the color checked, and we can copy that, and then we can come to our different photo and we can paste those in. And you can also select multiple photos and hit Control Shift V, and it will paste those in. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that action. These were from a different event in a different gym than this photo was taken. That's why the settings didn't work. But anytime you've got one of these reference photos that you take, you think ahead, you've got easy white balance fixing, and as you can see, it makes a really big difference. One exercise you can do to help you figure out white balance is try your hand at adjusting it, and then go back to the original, and then go back and forth, and you can really see how much it matters. Another thing would be to shoot in RAW plus JPEG. All the files I'm using here are RAW files, which is why I'm able to just adjust this so much. When your camera changes it to JPEG, it compresses the file and it picks all this stuff for you without your knowledge, and it's guessing at what you want for this photo. It's a lot better if you just get a RAW file and then choose it yourself. It takes a little more time, but with Lightroom and with some tutorials I'm going to put out there, you should be able to go very fast. And when you shoot in RAW plus JPEG, you can load both in, adjust your RAW file, create a JPEG, and then compare the two and see how much better your settings are from the cameras. If they're not as good, look at what's better about it. What could I do in my Lightroom workflow to improve my output? In general, I'm focusing on correcting the color cast. The professionals will add a color cast to create a certain mood. I just want to make it look like a very natural lighting for the setting my photo is in. That's all for now. If you have any questions at all, let me know. I'm going to be doing more videos like this. If you're interested in quick and easy how-tos on photography, on budget gear, on anything related to beginning photography and budget photography, please like and subscribe. And I think my next video is going to be going from your original photo to black and white, to tuning that black and white to get the best result you can out of the same exact photo. Thanks a lot. Goodbye, guys.